Okay, so let's go straight across now to my colleague Preeti Chaudhary. In fact, she is outside the Supreme Court. Preeti, this is such an important day today, not just for the parents of Nirbhaya, but for the entire nation. I mean, amid the widespread outcry, protests, today the courts will decide, the highest court of the land deciding whether it will be death or life for the 4 convicts who committed that heinous crime.
Well, you're completely right, Avantika. You know, not just whether it would be death or life, it would also establish whether the judge, the 3-bench judge, deems fit that there would be collective responsibility or they're going to maybe turn the order. What we're going to do is we're going to go to Anusha, who's been tracking this case over many months. It's been reserved twice already. And today we're expecting at about 2 p.m. the final order by the 3-judge bench to come out today. We have Anusha with us as well. We're going to go across to her. But Anusha, in the morning as well, our colleague Anusha had gone to the parents of Nirbhaya. And what they've said very clearly is that nothing else but death will bring justice to their dead daughter. That is what they have said. But there's interesting contradictions as well, which are legal in nature. We're going to discuss with Anusha at length about it. But what we will do right now is cut across to that interview that Anusha did today at 6 a.m. in the morning with the parents of Nirbhaya.
इधर से घुस के आगे से राइट में दिए।
मैम, आज एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट दिन है। आपने एक बहुत लंबी कानूनी लड़ाई लड़ी, एक सामाजिक लड़ाई लड़ी। क्या आज ऐसा फैसला आएगा कोर्ट से जो आपको लगेगा कि न्याय हुआ?
देखिए, मुझे चाहे मेरी बेटी को जब भी न्याय मिलेगा जब उन 4 मुजरिमों की फांसी होगी, तो मुझे उम्मीद है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट से आज ज्योति को इंसाफ मिलेगा और उन 4 मुजरिमों को फांसी मिलेगी।
मैम, जहां तक जिस तरह से पूरी कार्रवाई हुई कोर्ट में, यहां तक बोला गया डिफेंस काउंसिल ने कि ये जो पूरा हादसा हुआ एक तरह की साजिश थी। कोर्ट ने अलग से 2 वकील उन कन्विक्ट्स के लिए दी गए। जिस तरह से ये पूरी अपील चली, आपको स्टेट से जिस तरह की मदद मिली, आप उस सबसे सेटिस्फाइड हैं? आपको लगता है कि जो कानूनी लड़ाई लड़ी गई उसमें आपको पूरा मौका मिला अपना पक्ष रखने का?
देखिए, समाज की तरफ से तो मुझे कोई नहीं है। समाज का तो मैं आज भी अपने पूरे देशवासियों को, पूरे मीडिया भाई बहनों को, सबको मैं दिल से धन्यवाद देती हूं कि 2012 से अब तक हमारे साथ खड़े हैं और हमारी लड़ाई में उन्होंने साथ दिया। तो मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देती हूं कि आगे भी ऐसे ही हमें हिम्मत देते रहें। जहां तक कानून प्रक्रिया की बात है तो मैं बिल्कुल खुश नहीं हूं, क्योंकि एक ही चीज को 9 महीने दोहराया गया। हर रोज हमें प्रूव करना पड़ा कि नहीं, हमारे बेटी के साथ क्राइम हुआ है। तो मैं यही कहना चाहती हूं कि अगर हाई कोर्ट से, ट्रायल कोर्ट से केस निकल के सुप्रीम कोर्ट में आ गई तो इतनी लंबी लड़ाई नहीं, इतनी लंबी ट्रायल नहीं होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि एक तरह से विक्टिम के लिए भी बहुत मुश्किल है और कोर्ट का समय भी जाया होता है, क्योंकि ये ट्रायल 9 महीने चली है। एक ही चीज को 10-10 बार रखा गया। तो ये इससे मैं यही कहना चाहती हूं कि जितना जल्दी हो सके कम से कम ऐसे केसों में मुजरिमों को सजा मिले और विक्टिमों को न्याय मिले, तो हमारे बच्चियों के लिए, हमारे समाज के लिए हित में होगा। क्योंकि जिस तरह से हमने 2-2 घंटे, 3-3 घंटे बैठ के कोर्ट में हमने सुना है, तो हर रोज यही सुना है कि ये तो कैसे फ्रॉड थी, वो तो थे ही नहीं, वो संगीत में नहीं। अरे थे नहीं तो ये घटना हुई कैसे? यहाँ तक कि जज साहब के सामने उनके वकील ने बोल दिया कि ये तो कैसे फ्रॉड है। तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर हम वहां बैठे हैं तो हमें तकलीफ होती है, हम हर रोज उससे जूझते हैं। तो ये हमारी जो न्याय प्रक्रिया है इसमें बहुत सुधार की जरूरत है। अब मैं यही कहना चाहूंगी कि कम से कम जो ये अपराध हो रहे हैं, घटनाएं हो रही हैं, कम से कम इसके लिए अलग से फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट होना चाहिए। लोअर कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में होना चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर समय रहते न्याय नहीं मिलता है तो उस न्याय का कोई मतलब नहीं रहता। और सजा जिसको मिलती है उसके मन से सजा का खौफ निकल जाता है। आज इसका परिणाम हमारे समाज में है कि हमारे 2-2 साल की बच्चियों के साथ रेप हो रहा है। तो इसके विषय में हमारे सरकार को, हमारे न्याय प्रणाली को सोचने की जरूरत है और कुछ करने की जरूरत है।
एक पिता के तौर पे एक लंबी कानूनी लड़ाई और जो भी कुछ आप देखते रहे इन 5 सालों में, आपकी क्या राय है? जो जिस तरह से एक आपने पूरा केस का ट्रायल देखा और आपको जिस तरह की मदद मिली, क्या आप सेटिस्फाइड हैं, संतुष्ट हैं जैसे भी हुआ सब कुछ?
देखिए, संतुष्ट हो या ना हो, संतुष्टि लेनी पड़ती है, संतुष्ट होना पड़ता है, क्योंकि हम उसे आगे तो जा नहीं सकते। सुप्रीम कोर्ट है और जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट जो भी करेगी बहुत सोच समझ करेगी, पूरे देश का दारोमदार है उसके ऊपर। लेकिन इतना मैं ज़रूर कहूँगा कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट देश की एक वो शक्ति है कि देश को दिशा देती है। तो महिलाओं के प्रति हो रहे अपराध, 2 साल 4 साल की बच्चियों के साथ निर्भया के बाद अपराध बढ़ा है, तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का भी ये काम है कि वो इस चीज़ को देखते हुए ऐसी सज़ा दे कि कम से कम आने वाले समय में छोटे छोटे बच्चियों के साथ, जिनको ये पता नहीं कि हम क्या पहने हैं क्या नहीं पहने हैं, उनको पता है नहीं, घर से भी उठा लिया जाता है। तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट गाइडलाइन जरूर बनानी चाहिए कि इस तरह के अपराध करने वालों को, चाहे बालिग हो चाहे नाबालिग हो, सजा तो सजा है, क्राइम तो क्राइम है। तो हमारे जो प्रक्रिया देखने की वहाँ नज़रिया जो है, हमने जो कुछ देखा, अब ये तो नहीं कह सकते उनको समय मत दो, हमको समय न दो। हम भी चाहते हैं कि हमको समय मिले बोलने का, वो भी चाहते हैं समय मिले बोलने का। सबने बोला, लेट हुआ जरूर, लेकिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट सजा सही देगी, निर्भया को न्याय मिलेगा, उनको फांसी मिलेगी। इसमें कोई सोचने और दो राय बात नहीं, सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है। सच्चाई यही है कि क्राइम हुआ है तो क्रिमिनल को सजा मिलेगी और फांसी ही मिलेगी।
Well, it was primarily a case which shook the nation's conscience. And on the other hand, whereas street protests were concerned, it was the cornerstone which brought about that. And secondly as well, and Anusha's with me on this. You know, Anusha, there are 2 ways to look at it. You interviewed the parents in the morning. When you go back, December 2012, with what transpired, with what we saw happening on the streets of the national capital, literally bringing down a government on its knees, the student protests that we saw. It's such a passionate case for so many of us, so many of the people, you know, who came out in the streets to protest. But legally, the parents today want a death penalty. They don't want anything else. But when you look at it legally, has there been precedents? And what has been the nature of this case? From where it is, gone along with ML Sharma first and now the amicus curiae.
So, pretty clearly, the sentiments are very high whenever we think about this case, and all of us have felt that movement so strongly when it happened in this country. Legally speaking, whether to give a death penalty or not is purely a question of law. We as a country, as a democracy, are moving towards a setup where the death penalty will be abolished or will be kept for a very limited, offences. And absolutely. And we are going to define rarest of rare also very narrowly. AP Shah, in his report as the Law Commission chairperson, had written down a report and said that only for crimes against terrorism and for crimes of terrorism and other offences against the country, you could probably have a death penalty. As far as speaking of rape and murder cases is concerned, you would go back to the hanging that happened of Dhananjay before Yaqub Memon. That was also a case of rape that had happened. However, that was a child that was killed, raped and murdered. And we have to wait and watch if the Supreme Court decides the same in this case. And he pointed out the procedural flaws. That is something very important. You cannot overlook that. The court will have to decide very dispassionately on it.
Tell us, take us through this, Anusha, because what we've seen, how this 9-month trial has progressed, right? It's interesting to note that the accused had ML Sharma. We're going to get him later on as well, live on the show. We're going to have him as well. But later on, why were amicus curiae appointed by the government? Why were they given to the accused? What was the reason? And what has been the contention of the amicus curiae where they have contended the death penalty in court?
Right. So the first reason that the court appointed these 2 lawyers very specifically was that all these convicts come from very underprivileged sections of the society. Now this is a case of death. The court has to be doubly certain of the sort of legal aid and advice you're getting. If the court at any point feels that there needs to be a special friend of the court, then the court takes that step. The amicus, in the dispassionate way, is supposed to give a legal opinion on the sentencing, on the way the entire trial has proceeded, and that's what that has happened. Sanjay Hegde pointed...
The first amicus curiae was Sanjay Hegde.
Was Sanjay Hegde, and Raju Ramachandran was the second one. Raju, in fact, raised a very crucial question on the procedure in which the death penalty was given. Usually in a court of law, whenever there's a death penalty given, the circumstances and the situation of each accused is looked at very carefully. And the judge has to give the reasoning for each person in detail separately. In this case, there was a collective sentencing. All of them were clubbed together. All of them were given the death sentence collectively. In his opinion, the trial court was wrong in that, and the high court was wrong in that. That's what the amicus said.
Let's go back to the first amicus curiae, which was Sanjay Hegde. He questioned the rod theory. And that's important as well to bring in here.
Absolutely. Sanjay Hegde said, and I should give him that because he made a qualified objection. His point was that even if you were to believe the rod theory, you cannot attribute it to all the 4 convicts. Mukesh entered the bus much later. He also said that the rods are present in the bus for various maintenance purposes. This is, interestingly, the defense of the convicts as well. The convicts have gone on to the extent of saying that the rape never happened, it was a political controversy and so on. However, Hegde was clear that you cannot attribute the rod theory to all of them. And very briefly, because this is a death penalty case, it has to be much beyond reasonable doubt.
All right, we're going to talk about that. And as well, it's very difficult in this particular case. And we've seen it over the course of the trial, especially if we go back to 2012 as well. Even for us journalists, it was very difficult to report the story dispassionately. The question now is on the 3-judge bench. Will they be able to do that? We're going to get back to that with Anusha. What we will do is dip into some reactions that we're getting in right now of the first lawyers of the accused. Now, this case has been one of the most emotional cases that have been reported, that have been fought in the ambit of the court. And today, there is a big sense of responsibility that lies on the 3-judge bench. At one end, you have the parents of Nirbhaya who want nothing short of death for the perpetrators who raped and murdered their daughter. On the other hand, one has to blindly follow the legal code. Do they actually deserve death in the eyes of law? That's the big question. And there's been this fight which has been going on. And it's interesting to point out at this time, and Anusha is going to do that for us, the second amicus curiae, Raju Ramachandran, when he wrote a personal article, he said, and I want to let Anusha tell this story because it's very interesting.
Right, so Preeti, as you were just narrating, even Sanjay Hegde and Raju Ramachandran both, when this entire debate was going on, they went to the press, wrote certain articles, made certain statements and said they should be given a death sentence. And when Justice Deepak Mishra appointed both of them as amicus, the defense counsel, ML Sharma and AP Singh, had raised objections. They had said that these people, in some form or the other, have written or spoken and said that these people should be given a death sentence. How could you appoint them amicus? However, when it came to the court, when it came to giving a legal opinion, they were very different. They pointed out how there were procedural flaws. They pointed out how the individual circumstances were not taken into account.
And
so
how
collective responsibility was done. And clearly, this is an attempt to try and make sure that the law works in an objective manner, which is not very affected by the public outrage.
So, it's interesting because 2 amicus curiae appointed as a defense counsel, personally, with the various articles that they have written, said that the perpetrator should be given death, the convict should be given death. But on the other hand, when it comes down to representing them in court, purely speaking legally, they've said that they don't deserve death.
Yeah, absolutely. And mostly when
right.
Mostly when a death penalty...
Okay.